I'm Ella and welcome to my craft room. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these. Now this probably looks a little bit more complicated, but actually this is actually quite an easy thing to make, and it's really good when you're starting out sort of having a little play with duct tape, and it's one that you can feel quite satisfied with straight away, which I always think when you're starting something new and starting a new craft, starting something where you make something and then it works is always a good place to begin, really. And it starts with one fundamental thing, the house shape. So I'm just going to get a bit of duct tape for you. I'm just going to tear a bit. I'm just going to make a kind of rough square. Again, I'm not measuring or anything. It's not that I don't believe in measuring. What we've got is this little square. All we're going to do is make a kind of house. So we just fold one corner there and one corner there. And this is kind of our petal shape. Now, obviously the inside of a rose is always quite sort of intricate and sort of deep. So what I want to do is just make a few of these houses. And I always start off with a pair of scissors just to start me off. And this is a great shape to master. And obviously it's not that difficult to master, but it's a good shape to master because this is a good basis for a lot of things that you'll make with duct tape. So this is a great little start. So we're just going to put that there. So you've got these two little houses on top of each other, like a little city or something. And then do the third one. And don't worry about these bits showing. We're not going to see these. So I'm just going to put that over as well, and I'm just going to roll it. And I'm being quite kind of loose really with it because, petals are never, well, the insides of roses are never completely symmetrical. They're not completely perfect, and we don't really want that for this because we're trying to make a nice looking rose. So you've got your centre there. So now you make your petals, and your petals are like these little houses basically. Let's just rip that off. And I'm just ripping, I'm not being super precise or anything like that. I'm not going to make them all the same size. I've not been completely neat doing that. Don't worry about it if you're not. And then we're just going to build up our rose. It's really easy. So you've built up quite a nice little shape. I'm just going to do two more here, and then I'm going to make some bigger shapes because we're going to connect that to a stem. So I'll just do a couple more of these. And also, even if you get these little bits of sticky bits, they're okay. Remember, with a rose or anything like that, you've got those little bits. You want something that's got a little bit of craft in it, a little bit of character. So I'm not worried about those bits. Okay, I'm just going to put that down for a little while. Because we're going to make our stem. And again, couldn't be easier. And we've got a nice little straw. You can get packs of these for, less than £1. So they're really good. Now, I do something with this that I have seen other crafters use a whole strip of tape around the straw. I don't do that, and the reason being is that it just bunches and everything, and you've got a lot to work with. So what I do is I just tear it in half, and then you've got a thinner bit to work with. You can just wrap that around. But yeah, your straw on that. I've got a nice little bendy number. You can do a straight one, it's no problem. And you just wrap that round. And although you don't have to be neat with duct tape, I think this is a bit more of a sort of neater solution than if you use a big thing. I'm just going to snip that a little bit. I'm just going to hold that there while I put my first big petal. So I'm just going to put that there on my straw. I'm just going to place that And then we can build that up as well. So we're just wrapping that round. So we've got a little bit more depth, a little bit more texture. You see, and you've got quite a nice little sort of rose going on there. If you're a bit worried about your worktops, then I would work on a cutting mat like you would generally if you were crafting anyway. And we can just go on really. So obviously this looks all right, but it doesn't look particularly neat. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some leaves to go up like I have done on this. And this again is really, really simple. I've got the other half that I've torn before. I'm going to tear that apart again. So I'm going to put that on top of each other, and I'm going to leave a little bit of sticky stuff. And the reason being is that I want that to stick to the bottom. And the lovely thing about duct tape is you can shape it. Now, I'll also show you how to shape some petals for this as well, if you wanted to do something a little bit different. If you weren't so comfortable with that house technique, but I'll do that. I'll show that in a minute. So we've got a little leaf there that we'll just put around our flower. So again, leaving a bit of a gap. And that's the nice thing, you've created a bit of because you create this kind of fabric with the tape, you can then cut any shape you want. There you go. And just put that around your bloom. If you're leaving a little edge like I have, don't worry. Just paste that around and you've got, that's lovely. If you wanted to just make shaped petal, what you could do is, again, like we did with the leaves, you can just put that together and leave a little gap so you can stray bit. What's that doing there? But yeah, so you could make a petal and do that. So you've got a different thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that around there just so I can show you again really how to do it. I actually really like cutting shapes out of the duct tape because it gives me a little bit more control. Having said that, I also like the effect that that produces. It's kind of spiky and it feels thicker. So it's really up to you. It's really up to what you feel comfortable with, what you enjoy. What's nice about this as well is this has gone a bit crinkly. If anything, making something like a rose, you kind of want something that's a little bit organic and natural, you know. So you make, there you go. I can see a gap there. That would bother me, that gap, so I'm gonna put something in there. Now also this is really good if you wanted to make a bigger leaf, so, you know, it looks a bit more sort of more kind of like an accent. So what I might do is I might just make a bigger leaf just going there so you can see. Let's finish this petal first. So I'm going to make a big leaf to sit here so then you can see. See how it's done. I mean, this is really nice. You know, I've made a sort of how do you describe kind of iris leaf there. But we're just going to make something just. Go. And we're just going to put that here, so you've got a bit more to play with. There we go. Here is your rose, complete with lovely big leaf.